This is forensic restoration. So this is a little bit different than fire and even water loss because the risk is so much greater. We're dealing with so many different contaminants that can kill you now, not just 30 years down the road or 40 years down the road like asbestos or something, which is dangerous, which we want to make sure we're accommodating. But these are pathogens, these are bacteria, these are things, Legionella, you'll be dead in 6 or 7 days. And so you need to understand this. It needs to be very serious.
Here's a fact of life. Nobody calls 911 because everything's going great. Okay, nobody calls a forensic restoration specialist because everything is Skittles and rainbows. They're probably having a bad day. They're probably having one of the worst days of their life. Listen, this is serious business. And I don't get a second chance. I'm not going to jeopardize the safety of people, my team members, the occupants of a building, a home, and sure not a hospital. And I'm not going to compromise my safety. What good is it if you go out and you get a nice job and you buy all this fancy equipment, but then you skimp? If you have a great rifle, but you buy cheap ammunition, you're not going to get the performance. If you have a Ferrari, but you buy the cheapest gas, you're not going to get the performance. Well, this is a lot more serious than that. I've got to have products that I know that will deliver what they say they'll deliver. What we're doing is we're making the world safer, one job at a time.